Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Kagurabachi Chapter Review. Today we're going to be going over Chapter 47, Uruha. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you don't want to miss any other Kagurabachi reviews or other manga series weekly, and let's get right into it, guys. Chapter 47, Uruha, is the start of the Sword Bearer Assassination arc, which, if it's anything like the rising tension of the Sojo to the Rakuzachi to now, I'm excited to see what Kagurabachi has in store for us, because honestly, now knowing that the 4 enchanted wielders are at stake, there's a pretty big potential we may be running into a very divisive, very insanely jam-packed action arc. Today, we focus on the enchanted blade wielder Yoji Uruha, the original owner of the blade Kumeyori. He was specifically chosen by Rokuhira during the Seitei War, and Uruha admitted that working for Rokuhira was literally the highest point of his life. That was the most proud he was able to feel about himself, because he was fighting for what he felt was right. He saw the fire burning behind Rokuhira's eyes, something that we've heard multiple people that have met him on the side say as well. So it inspired Uruha to live his best life, and he actually voluntarily relinquished his blade at the end of the war. He felt no reason to it. He was happy that he spent that time, and he moved on with his life. For 15 years, Uruha didn't hear anything from this person that made such a difference in him, something that was basically an idol. Somewhat, honestly, kind of similar to Sojo, right? He gets the news that the Hoshaku have killed Rokuhira. This puts Uruha in a depression. He is so upset that his idol, he hasn't even spoke to them in so long, and they're just gone, destroyed by this criminal organization, the Hoshaku. And now you're saying that Uruha can't even live his normal life. He has to go away in the witness protection program and hide and basically live his life in seclusion for the rest of his life now because of what? This terrible organization? Despite his sadness over the entire thing, he is, basically forced to go out in hiding, but at the very least, they put him in a nice hot springs location to the point that even he admits it's not that bad. He gets maximum relaxation. He gets to build close bonds with the elite sorcerers that he's with every single day in hiding. It's really not that bad. And for 3 years, Uruha, despite hiding behind a happy face, stewed in darkness. He was very changed after Rokuhira's death. Even though he was living and hiding in protection, he admits that he really had no will to live and was ready to die. As the elite sorcerers and him are kind of gossiping, they talk about how Rokuhira might have a son, and a 7th blade even popped up. Uruha doesn't feel anything about this. He's still in his depressed mode and feels like, you know what? That's a lie. He's an imposter. How dare he, besmirch my idol Rokuhira? Almost like a direct mirror to Sojo, who had this view of Rokuhira, right? Despite Sojo never even meeting Rokuhira, had this view of him, and no one could tell them different. This is who my idol is. I put them on such a pedestal that they're above all other people, that they're not even realistic. Uruha has a picture in his head of how Rokuhira lived, and taking care of a son was just not it. It is interesting how so many people put Rokuhira on this pedestal, and honestly, the same thing happens to Chihiro. Hikori did it, and later on, we see Uruha, upon meeting Chihiro, feel the same way he felt about Chihiro that he did about Rokuhira. So there must be something special about this bloodline that just makes people want to work with them and want to idolize them. Obviously, as we know, the Hoshaku invade Kokugoku Springs and kill pretty much all the elite sorcerers that are stationed there, using those Datenseki crystals that just energize them and make them strong as enchanted blade wielders. Everyone there is giving their life to protect Uruha from the Hoshaku, and despite wanting to die, despite not really wanting to even be here, to disrespect their efforts of saving him would be messed up. So Uruha chooses to escape to the station, meet up with his new Kamunabi bodyguards, and just go where the wind takes him. Now, of course, we also know that Hikori and Chihiro are the new bodyguards, and they find him almost immediately. Hikori even admitting that, yeah, you didn't really hide very well. You're pretty obvious here. Despite Uruha believing that no other bodyguards will exist like the elite sorcerers that he had that are going to be strong enough to defend him. And if you noticed, those sorcerers weren't strong enough to defend him either. So he really just has given up on everything at this point. He doesn't believe he'll ever get someone that's strong enough to defend him in the state that he's in. And we learn also why defending enchanted blade wielders are so important and why it's so prominent that they have such elite sorcerers and so much protection is because when you make a contract with an enchanted blade, you give up all your innate sorcery talent. You give up your sorcery ability, basically your ability to use spirit energy outside of anything not involving the enchanted blade, which means that when these wielders don't have their enchanted blades, which, surprise, surprise, all 4 of these people in hiding don't because the Hishaku stole them all, they have no way to defend themselves. They have no sorcery. And if they're not, you know, a badass like Uruha shows himself to be, that's a pretty big problem. They don't have time to discuss any of this, though, because they're immediately pulled up on by 3 to 4 Hishaku sorcerers in absolutely no time at all. And if you remember, Hikori is still fucked up from the Rakuzachi. He doesn't really have a lot of spirit energy. He's really kind of debilitated right now. And upon casting his first spell, he immediately just drops, unable to do his bodyguard job. And Uruha has no choice but to step in and defend himself. Again, proving that even though he's only wielding an ordinary sword, he's, you know, still a hardened warrior. He fought in the war. Without his, you know, enchanted blade powers, he's still a pretty damn good swordsman and was able to cut up 4 sorcerers in no time just on his own. Thank God, because Hikori was no help. As they escape onto the train, Uruha realizes that they're surrounded by sorcerers on the train, around the train, everything. And he also asks the question, how many people do the Hishaku employ? And honestly, I think that's a pretty fair question, because the amount of NPC death that has occurred in just these 47 chapters alone has to be over 100, maybe even in the thousands. I would love for someone to count, because wow, that's a well-running, well-oiled machine. How many ads on Indeed are we running here? But Hikori mentions, while everyone's distracted, that actually it's them that's surrounded, because Chihiro set up a trap in the train with his new powers of Enten after gaining so much understanding after the Sojo arc, the Rakuzachi arc. Chihiro's just an absolute badass now, and of course, he has to enter every single arc, killing a bunch of nameless people and walking up to someone badass as shit. And well, you know what? He accomplishes it. I can't hold him for that. In 1 second, Uruha immediately looks into Chihiro's eyes, sees Rokuhira, and falls in love for the most part. He goes immediately from Rokuhira has no son to, oh my god, praise Jesus, Rokuhira's back. You know what I mean? Like, these guys just have an effect on these people, I guess. And I will say, even though this arc has just begun, I'm interested to learn more about the enchanted blade wielders. Not just Iruha, but the other ones. I'm interested to see what kind of threats we're going to be encountering on this trip back to the Kamunabi headquarters, I imagine. Are we going to meet another Hishaku sorcerer? And are the other wielders in danger as we speak? Are they going to start attacking all 4? Or, you know, one's already destroyed, but are they going to start attacking the other 3? Whatever this arc has in store for us, I'm excited to see where it goes. And you already know I'll be here every week covering it. So guys, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you enjoyed. Check out the main channel if you want to see some more polished content or video essays. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.